Okay, I'm going to call to order the Wednesday, February 28th, 2024, 6:15 p.m. remote participation meeting for the Ayer Affordable Housing Trust. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID 818-050-97403 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Alicia Hersey at ahersey@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 142, prior to the meeting. I had to read a lot last night at the planning board, and I read it as fast as I could, and I only stumbled once. So, first piece of general business is to approve the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Colleen. Can we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Cindy Levin. Any discussion about the agenda? Hearing none, I've got to do the Hollywood squares. Cindy Levin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Colleen Fraser, how do you vote?
Aye.
Bob Williams, how do you vote?
Aye.
There we go. And sorry, chair votes aye. Next on our list is the need a motion to approve the meetings from January 31st, 2024.
I'm sorry, I didn't read it till this morning. I have a change.
We'll get there. We need a motion.
Oh, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the minute.
Thank you, Colleen. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Bob Williams. And any discussion on the minutes? Alicia, this is your moment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Cindy, the one change from 3 spots available to 11 spots available.
Okay, where am I looking?
Oh, I didn't open it up. In the...
I see it. I see it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you very much. I read it way back when and didn't catch I didn't catch that out of Alicia, and we had our conversation yesterday. So are you okay, Colleen, with that correction on approving the minutes? Fantastic. Any other discussion on the minutes? Hearing none.
Well, wait a second. Just that I'm looking at the current version of it, and it still has me listed, I think, as being in present, and I wasn't at that meeting.
That was already changed.
Bob, you're on mute. So Cindy says that was caught. Okay.
Good, except that the version that was sent out today included my name.
I think that I sent, so clearly I read the minutes because I remember writing to you and changing that.
And I sent it back out. So I don't.
I have the wrong, because I sent out the wrong set. But did we change the 3 to 11 too on the old, on the?
Tell me about that.
So, if I may. Yes, Cindy Knox?
Pat's not going to make it. She doesn't have any internet.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll check and make sure that I took you off, Bob, but I have you off of the copy that I have.
I thought
so. You have a quorum.
when I go and sign the minutes, I will double check that Bob was not present and that we had 11 openings instead of 3.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send it to you tonight, I guess.
Perfect. I'm not going to go down to the town hall tonight. By all means, send it to me.
Yeah, you're going.
Thank you. Okay, Cindy, with those corrections, how do you vote to accept the minutes?
Aye.
Bob?
I wasn't there, so.
Abstain?
So you can abstain or you can say yay or nay, but abstain is fine if you choose to abstain.
Abstain.
Thank you. Colleen?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next on our hit parade is the Ayer Rental Assistance Program, and I'm going to ask Alicia to give us a quick update on where we stand.
So we got 18 applications And I have finished scoring the applications. I have not finished working with the landlords on the applications, but I think we can go forward because if for any reason someone get that I've actually ranked the applications in two columns. One is a wait list column and one is a ranking column. And so we do have 11 spots. We're going to see a couple of our people that have been on for 2 years get bumped this year because we had a lot of very, very needy people. We had 18 applications. One of the applications under slot 4, which is 301, it has actually gotten a unit in senior housing. So that one is good. Under 12, this person doesn't have a rental unit, very much qualifies, but doesn't have a rental unit. So we will put them on a wait list until they have a rental unit and they can apply next year or if something comes opening. And then the last one at 21, the 21 spot, is not in good standing, has an eviction notice and has a lot of back rent. And we require that the family be in good standing with the landlord because this is a program that is joint between the trust, the landlord, and the tenant. And so I think that maybe next meeting we have, I'd love to go over some of the findings I'm having on who's qualifying and who's not, or who we don't have room for. But the system has worked very well and it really shakes out. It's always surprises me how the different points really shifts who ends up getting the rent assistance. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm just going to paraphrase, if you don't mind. We have 18 applicants. We had 11 positions. The 11 people who are most needy got the assistance this year.
Yes.
So 12 through 18.
Yes.
Didn't work out. And we have three that you spoke about in the beginning. I think that's a summary. If anyone else has questions, by all means, jump in. And to Alicia's point, Alicia and I were discussing this yesterday. We don't discuss individuals, but if we want to be in a position, and I want you all to think about this, where we're going to actually take time to talk about the program. Alicia's seen some interesting information in the data that's probably helpful for us to think about, that we might decide to go into some sort of an executive session just because the identities of people, and we are a small town. So that was a request. So let's keep that in our back pocket. So we may see that on the next agenda, that in order to really dig in and dive in on this and talk about individual aspects of certain parties, we're going to have to do it in a quote unquote executive session. But with that said, do any questions anybody have for this? One more thing I want to talk about. We have 12 total openings. However, we awarded one in September. So that award won't happen until September of this year. We had one person off calendar, if you will.
And that person will go up against the wait list. So they'll be rated and they'll go up against the wait list. So if they are still the most needy, they will get it, or the next person on the wait list will get it.
Yeah. Colleen, looks like you had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, just thinking a little bit logistically. If I heard you correctly, some of the people that are on the wait list right now are individual or families that had participated in the first 2 years of the program, were lower needs. So they've moved on to the wait list where
Correct.
They will stay. And are they eligible to reapply? And if because they only did 2 years, but technically if they are on the wait list this year, that'd be the end of, that would be 3 years. So just kind of thinking about what happens if they come back on. But I guess their term would start if we had a spot for them, and they would get the full year regardless of when they start.
The way the program's written is that they are eligible for it for up to 3 years. So, and that's a full year of using the services. So that's how I read it. I mean, I can go back and reread. That's how I thought I wrote it. So,
No, I think as I started talking, I cleared it up in my head.
okay.
I have a question
Yeah, go ahead, Bob, please.
about the spreadsheet, Alicia. It basically says start your 2024. That's obviously for this calendar year, but are these all the people on this list have been in it? This will be the third year. Is that
So
correct?
there's an easy way to take a look at this. So my coding. So if you had an application and if you were in the first year, your number is going to start with a 1. If you were in the second year, your number is going to start with a 2. If you were in the third year for your first year, your number is going to start with a 3. So if your first application was in the first year, it's going to start with a 1. I use their number all the way through, but I put a -2 if they've had 2 years. I put a -3 if this will be their third year.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait a second. So, for instance, on 17, it says 1073. So they've been on, that would imply, oh, I
This
see.
year would have been the third year.
First time it's in the third year of the program. Okay.
Now, now they've been waitlisted, so they haven't had a third year.
Right. Got it. I
So,
get that, but I just was trying to use that as to understand your coding.
yes, I try to code so that I can look at the number and know a lot about them in the number.
Hmm. And
Now,
for
I'm
instance,
saying fiscal year 24, but I've been talking to um yeah, Barbara Tierney, and we were trying to decide when we were going to audit, whether we were going to audit for the fiscal year or for the calendar year. And because we start applications in January 2nd, we decided that we probably should audit for the calendar year. So I'm going to be changing that to CY calendar year 24 from now on, because it was hard. We don't actually start giving the grants till April, but they start their application in January. But April doesn't line up with the fiscal year anyway. So, and the year that I'm talking about is 2024. The majority of the grant will be in 2024.
So we will do an audit for the monies used between January 1, 24 and December 31st, 24.
Yes, and we'll
Okay.
do last year's audit for 23.
For calendar 23, exactly.
Yeah,
And
calendar
in the
23.
coming year, I was going to talk about the auditor conversation that we've been having. So, any
Yeah.
other questions about the applicants and the awards? Okay. I'll make an observation. We had 6. We had 5. We went to 12. If I can't, my numbers are messed up. The need, Alicia, and we'll talk about this when we do have a quote unquote executive session. But there's a need. The need's greater, and the trending numbers are pretty interesting. So we'll put this down now. I'd like to take a motion that these people are. I'd like to get a motion that we award the people that have been identified by Alicia, so we can move forward with this tranche of people, and then we'll talk about what we learned and what we need to do going forward at the next meeting, if that's okay with you all.
so moved.
Thank you, Bob.
Second.
Cindy's got her finger up. Go ahead.
What is the motion?
The motion is to approve the 11 that have been identified by the program for awards this year. Is that okay with you, Bob?
Yes.
Thank you. And Colleen seconded it before we got it, but it's simple. We're making the awards, which is great. And thank you, Alicia, for all the hard work you've done on this. I really appreciate it. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Cindy, how do you vote?
Aye.
Colleen?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. So our 12 slots are full again. Wow. And we had 18 people. We're growing hand over fist. Yes, Alicia.
I forgot to mention we had 11 slots because we had another person drop out of the program. She's gone to assisted living. So
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to just
But
mention that.
we had 11 open slots, and we filled those open slots. We've got the one
Yes.
carryover for September. And
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, you may not know it, but I have dyslexia, and it's around phone numbers and calendars get me the worst. And I was talking to Alicia about this on the phone the other day, and I was drawing it on the piece of wood in front of me with my finger using water to keep track. And I practiced this. So okay, great. Thank you again, Alicia, for all that. Next on the list is a request for the Cindy Knox. Can I please screen share? Thank you. See, community development block grant application is done by the town every year, and
Awesome.
they have asked us to submit a letter. Can you all see that? I'm sharing a screen. And I asked Alicia to give me a sample letter or a letter that looks like what it is. And I sent this out by email. I don't know if people saw it or not, but I'd like to read it quickly. And I'm going to leave off the address and salutation. The Ayer Affordable Housing Trust is writing to express our support and assistance for the efforts of Ayer's Department of Community and Economic Development, the AOCED, with regard to the submission and management of a 2024 U.S. HUD Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, as administered through the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. I love how you left EOHLC out of that, but that's okay. The Office of Community and Economic Development's 2024 CDBG application submission requests funding that, if awarded, would fund the continuation and good work of the much-needed Ayer Housing Rehabilitation Program for the benefit of our less advantaged resident homeowners. The Ayer Affordable Housing Trust sees the Ayer Housing Rehabilitation Program as one of the tools in our work to maintain affordable housing within our community. Thank you for your consideration of our expressed support. Sincerely, and I would sign it on behalf of the Housing Trust. It's a fairly high level, straightforward letter. You guys, I mean, do we want Alicia to explain what happens with this money? Would that be helpful, or any
Jeff,
questions?
it might be helpful, I guess, for anybody who watches the meeting if we had just a quick summary of what the money is for. I mean, I think the letter sounds great and supportive of it, but I think for those watching from home at a later date, it might be helpful.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Alicia.
So just as we have a rental assistance program, we've had a rental housing rehabilitation, a housing rehabilitation program for almost 30 years in the town of Ayer. And it's a wonderful program for low to moderate income homeowners to get help repairing their homes. We've had a wait list. We haven't had a grant to put money into it since 2018. And I usually go for something to do about 7 units. I sometimes get as many 9 units done. It's a lot of work to get these units done, but I've changed a little bit on the guidelines here. We always had to rehab in the target area, which is kind of the downtown Grove Pond area. Unless it was an emergency, then I could go outside of the area. I've changed it so that we can do 75% in the targeted sustainable area, which is used to be Grove Pond area, and even the hill area had a lot more needy families, and they still do on the census. They really come up with over 51% as in low to moderate income. But it's a wonderful program, and what I find is I usually am helping families, a lot of times seniors who can't afford to put that roof on, can't afford to put the furnace in, that sort of thing. And so this is we had a CDBG public hearing that a number of you came to. Thank you so much. And this application is due at the end of March, and I just am getting my ducks in the road to get the application in.
Thank you. Yeah, but when I read the letter, the first thing I thought of was furnace goes out in the middle of the winter. the town. I've seen Alicia go through the hoops to get it done, but it needs to get done to protect the people and protect the property. And it works out really, really well. Any other questions about this? If not, can we have a motion to approve the letter for signature?
I'll make a motion to approve the letter as written in support of this application from the trust.
Thank you, Colleen. May we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Bob. Without further discussion, I'll assume we don't have any. When I shared the screen, everyone moved. So, Colleen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Bob, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Cindy?
Aye.
Thank you. And Jeff and the chair votes aye. And I'm going to turn off the screen share so you don't have to look at my email anymore. Great. Thank you very much. Alicia, as soon as you got the letter done, tomorrow I'm on the road a lot, but I'll come by and sign either tomorrow
I'm out
afternoon.
Monday and Tuesday, but I'm there
Let's try and get
Wednesday.
this before the weekend if we can.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
there
that'd be
Friday.
great. Next on our agenda is the coming year. And if it's okay with you guys, a few things are kind of churning around that we didn't actually put in here. But I'm gonna argue that these fit under the review of goals for 2024 and beyond. Number one is Alicia already mentioned it. We've we we're looking to get the auditor to take care of our books as we need to. I've forgotten the person's name in Harvard, Alicia.
David Alexander.
So Alicia's had experience with a gentleman, or the person named David Alexander. We're reaching out to him to see what his availability is to do the audit for us. She tracked down the question of, do we do a calendar versus fiscal year? Calendar seems to make more sense because our assistance program kind of runs closer to calendar. So there's that. The second thing is there's a quarterly newsletter you all may know about from the town of Ayer. And we did a blurb for it last time. And we have to make a submission by March 9th for it. And what I will do is do something fairly quick. I'll put something together, an update on what's going on the trust, and I'll circulate it with people. Anybody else want to write something, step up, we'll get it done. And we'll just put it in. It's a nice thing. I'd like to keep doing it because it keeps us in front. If people read the newsletter, it's one more service that's happening in the town of Ayer, which I think is really, really valuable. And there was one more anyway.
Carly had said something about our date in March.
Our meeting date. Yes, I'll look that up in just a moment if you don't mind.
Okay.
I was thinking about there was something else came in and out of my head.
That to do with Devon's Crest? Do we have any involvement with Devon's Crest? You know, the thing that's going on with the owner or they're trying to purchase their.
So our involvement in Devon's Crest is little or none. Cindy Lavin's got her finger up, so let's let Cindy talk to it.
I was at their meeting today. If you're interested in more information on it, Bob, we can talk.
Okay, but we have no involvement, obviously.
No.
It's we're a town entity, and at this point we have no involvement with it. That's what I'm going to say.
The town has offered to reach out to Brady Sullivan numerous times, and I know that they have recently reached out to Brady Sullivan to try and set up some conversations. And we have had a number of conversations with them, and we go to meetings when we're invited to talk with them. It's something that needs to be done by a citizens group, and that's what they're doing. They're going with nonprofits and things like that. The town is supportive of it if they can make it happen. Originally, and won't get too deep into this, they were talking about eminent domain, and that was not really feasible. And so, other than we support affordable housing, yes, and we'll listen and we'll try to be an intermediary if we can. but it mostly goes through the office of the town manager.
Okay.
Yeah, from an overarching standpoint, individuals who are residents of Devon's Crest and impacted by it, similarly at the Zodiac, also are availing themselves one by one to the different services in our town, both through Alicia and that office and AO's ECD, and also through Brittany, our town social workers office and other places. So the town is working individually with people as they qualify for that, if you will. But as there's no, Bob, there's no overarching plan for the town to be more involved in that at this point.
All
I
right.
don't know. It would be, we'd have to get everybody in town to agree to it. It's a challenging. So, newsletter auditor, there was one, oh, the March meeting date from Carly. I'm checking that right now. March 27th is our next date. Well, I'll put that farther down. We had talked about review of goals for 2024 and beyond. And in our last meeting, we're missing two members now. We've got James missing and Pat and Sean, three members right now. So I wonder if having a conversation about what our goals might be. I think my goal is going to be is to talk to, I know Pat tried to get in today, but I might reach out to James and Sean and find out if they can, if they're getting emails or what's going on, because I'd like to have the entire trust in a conversation about what we want to take on for next year. If that's okay with you all. I find myself shouldering more and more and more, and not that I don't want to do it, it's just not getting done to my level of wanting to get it done. So I'm going to ask that we move from there. We have public comment on the agenda next. Anybody want? Pauline's turned off your. I was watching you, Pauline. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jeff. First, I want to thank everybody involved. I continue to applaud what you all do. I hope Alicia has already told you this, and if not, I don't want to steal her thunder, but Habitat for Humanity is about to begin 2 new homes on Newton Street for 2024. The bank, Main Street Bank, donated the land. And as soon as, and Jeff, you already know this because you're on one of the permitting boards, but as soon as all the permits and anything else that needs to be done are approved, they're ready to go. They're raising funds now. So I share that. And I think that's a great opportunity. We will have 5. And according to Senator Eldridge, in his district, the only 2 towns with 5 Habitat homes are Acton and Ayer. So we should really be happy for that and proud of ourselves. Mm-hmm. The other thing I wanted to share, and I'm sure Alicia is aware of this, but I think I need to promote it more. Habitat has a critical home repair program where they give 0 interest loans to property owners who need critical repair. So if CDBG cannot assist, there's always that as a fallback. And I would love to be sure that we are promoting that to those residents, homeowners, or I don't think landlords, but definitely homeowners who need something. They recently, and I forwarded it or shared it on Facebook tonight, recently repaired a moldy shower in a home in the district. And you know, this is something people can't afford to do, but it's something Habitat does for them. And the repayment terms are very long-term, just like the CDBG grant. So I wanted to make sure you all were aware of that.
Well, thank you. More resources are always a good thing. And thank you again for your kind words at the beginning. For those of you who don't know, and we haven't gotten a permit, it hasn't, my understanding, and Pauline, jump in here if I get it incorrectly. If you're at the town hall and you're looking up the street towards the Apple Valley Church, the parcel of land is to the left of it, where it's a parking lot right now, is the parcel of land on Newton Street that's going to get the next Habitat for Humanity homes.
That is correct. And it will be 2 homes.
there's going to be two. They're going to be shoehorned in, but that's okay.
Exactly.
It's a couple more homes. And you made me think of something while you were talking about the Habitat grants. I believe prior to the rehab funds we had in the past, Alicia, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was also some grants from the bank in the old rehab funds. Or am I crossing my lines here?
Not while I've been here. We have bank grants for our emergency fund.
That's it. That was the furnace that needed to be replaced, and the bank grant money came in there. Got it. Thanks. Okay. So we have had our local Main Street Bank. I forgot the name of it before. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad about that.
North Middlesex.
North Middlesex. Thanks, Bob.
North Middlesex was very generous along the way.
So what's gonna, from my memory, is those they're gonna probably remove some parking spots while building those houses. I don't care so much about parking spots, but what's gonna happen to all that parking?
The parking currently, my understanding is, and this is just an off the cuff conversation I had because I asked that question. Those spaces are typically used by town employees during the day, and they're going to have to find somewhere else to park. Usually what it comes down to.
Okay.
Yeah. I keep asking the question. I think there's 71 spaces total behind the bank and the pool hall and all that, and they never really seem to be full. So I'm hoping that they'll be able to just shift around a little bit there, and figure that out. That's been an ongoing conversation with all of the businesses downtown. So yeah, it's going to impact, I think, half a dozen to 8 cars on a pretty regular basis. And the parking along the street's also going to be there. So it's probably a dozen vehicles that will get shifted. Upcoming meetings.
Jeff, can I just jump in and follow up on Pauline's, talking about the Habitat housing?
Yep.
They have come to CPC to request funds, so that will be at a public hearing at our next month's meeting, and hopefully, then it will get sent to town meeting. So
that's March 6th, I believe. Is that March 6th for that meeting?
March 6th. Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say, guys, get your calendars in order. Public meetings for CPC and public hearings for some of the zoning stuff coming up. And March is an important month for that. Pauline, go ahead, please.
I just want to follow up on Colleen's comment and encourage you all to please attend, because it's very, very important that we continue to provide this type of housing to families that are in so much need.
Thank you. Future meetings. We're blessed to pick nights that coincide with important things that happen in town. Nice way of putting it, isn't it? March 27th, 6 p.m. is the second budget forum being held by the town. And all department heads are required to be there. And since that includes Alicia, and I honestly want to be there also in my role as moderator, it's important for me to understand what's going on with the finances in the town. We're going to have to find another time besides March 27th to meet. I will put it out there that we've taken care of the lion's share of what we've got to do at this point. We're going to find an auditor and go forward with an audit. I don't know that we're going to get more than we're not going to go out and seek a lot of requests from auditors for proposals. Okay. We're going to work with somebody who's Alicia's worked with before in this realm. And so that might be something we have to do next month. I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know if we have to meet in March, because things are ramping up it's a pretty busy month right now if you look at what's all going on, unless anybody's dying to meet in March. The meeting after that would be the end of April, which is actually be the last week of April, which would be the 24th, I believe. which is 2 days after town meeting. And if you have other meetings, it's going to be a busy meeting week that week. So, anybody have any recommendations for our next meeting that may not be the end of March, but sometime in April?
Should we find if there's another open Wednesday earlier in the month in April to kind of split the difference between two? And the other thing I know you said you're gonna reach out to other to oh my gosh, Sean and James. I'm wondering if maybe this, is this fourth Wednesday or fifth Wednesday or whatever it is, not great for them? And, if so, should we be revisiting looking at
One of the
days and
problems
times
we're
for meeting in
having.
general?
Yeah. Alicia, you were saying? No, thank you, Colleen. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. Jeff and I talked about it and we're trying to get it onto the calendar because every time we try and get it on the calendar, there's nothing open. So we're trying to carve out that fourth Wednesday as ours. And we put it on the calendar for 4 different months for the next 4 months. And they've already bumped us on March.
Yeah.
So I do think we should reach out to the other members. If this isn't a working day, then maybe we have to pick a different one. But
so, yeah, I'm looking at the town calendar right now, and I know it's not set in stone, but the first Wednesday in April, April 3rd, which is a split the distance in Colleen's thinking, is open right now. So if I can make a suggestion that we take the marching orders of checking with Carly in the morning to have us on April 3rd, and then we won't do a late April meeting. And I will speak to the other members, Colleen, and find out what's going on with them.
Yeah, just make sure we can accommodate everybody. I know CPC meets the first Wednesday, but we don't meet until 7, so it may be that we can have them things back to back, which would be fine with me.
Exactly. And thank you very much. I mean, back-to-back meetings happen sometimes. We need to get a larger group of people involved and we won't have this problem or have fewer committees. But if it's okay with you, if you can check your schedules, let's try for Wednesday, April 3rd. And even push it to 6 o'clock would give us some time because CPC is important, but them being hybrid, you don't got to run around a lot, which is nice.
Okay. Yeah, like gives us a hard end, and it's like you said, splits the difference. Yeah. Something's going to come up.
Yeah.
We're going to need a meeting. Something is going to come up.
No, we're already on for May. And it would be June. We asked all the way through May. We're on for May. Let's not ask for any other Wednesday nights. It's harder for Carly to rearrange things sometimes than to just cancel. So let's get the 3rd set up. I will reach out to our other members and see if there is a breakdown because of scheduling. I know Sean's life can be difficult because in his job he gets scheduled into evenings out of his control, but we know that. So, but I want to get James, and James is the one I'm surprised, but I'll have a conversation. I'll reach out to James over the next week or so and figure it out. That's it. There was something on the tip of my tongue besides the Carly email that's gone right now. I don't think it's important. Anybody else have anything they want to add? We did it, Alicia. We got it done by 7.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. And we'll put together some numbers so we can have a conversation at the end of the next meeting. And I'm going to recommend we give that 15 minutes at the end, Alicia, on the agenda. Okay. So if we move it to 6 o'clock, 6:45, we'll go into executive session or earlier, and we'll take care of that because Alicia's found some really interesting trends that I think we probably will be surprised by. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. And thank you all.
So moved.
Thank you, Colleen.
Sorry.
We got a second from Bob. All in favor. I love this.
Aye.
Aye.